To say this at Sand Lake, but when I was first asked to do this, I was told it was the 13th. I should be here tomorrow, right? So, but can't do that. Anyways, gotta remember where I have to start. All right, we reflected on Easter last week. Yes. Yes. I first started off thinking that song that Darryl shared with us, I've just seen Jesus. Oh, so moving, brings chills to your soul, if you really soak in those words. So carrying on from that, the tomb is empty, but we talked about Jesus sacrificing willingly himself on the cross in between two thieves. So this ditty, or whatever you call it, I have refers to the thief on the cross who asked God to remember him in paradise, and also had faith knowing that that would happen for him, and so he received paradise that day, right? Okay, so the point is here, I heard this saying from Lon Solomon, a podcast I love to listen to. His ministry is called So What? If you want to look it up on your podcast, he's a great speaker and very easy to listen to. But this is what he had to say about the thief that had no opportunity to do anything on earth to try to earn, so to speak, his salvation. This is how he put it. He couldn't go sing in the choir, put money in the collection plate, attend church, or be baptized. Couldn't count the rosary fast enough for Yom Kippur, make a pilgrimage to Mecca, or bathe in the Ganges. He couldn't go repay the money he stole or do community service, become an Eagle Scout, or recycle. And I added that in there because I just previously, last Friday, recycled a whole bunch in my car. And I love recycling. So you should carry that on. It's good for the world, right? That God made. And I also want to say I wore this shirt, better late than never. That's one of my favorite sayings. But that applies to the thief too. He accepted Jesus at the end of his life, but it's better to do it early, actually, than later. You'll find much blessings in that, rewarding in your life. It'll change your life. You turn to Jesus, seek him, seek his word, read his love letter to you, the Bible, it'll change your life. Amen.
Next roll. $19. That would be Beth.
I couldn't remember what my number was. I think my number is up.
16 through 20.
Okay.
Number's up.
Okay, so I'm going to start out with a little bit of a quote, and I didn't do this at the other church, but it's by G.K. Chesterton, and he once wrote, "Angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. Never forget that the devil fell by force of gravity. He who has faith has the fun." So let's laugh. One time I got depressed and asked my pastor for advice, and he said, "Cheer up. At least you're not like Jeremiah, trapped in a hole in the ground filled with water." I said, "Trapped in a hole in the ground filled with water?" I know he meant well.
That's worse than now.
I know. So who was the most business savvy woman in the Bible? Answer is Pharaoh's daughter, who went down to the bank of the Nile to pull out a profit. A little profit. Okay, I'm going to give, Jeff Foxworthy, right? So we have redneck jokes today. You're a redneck church if people ask, when they learned that Jesus fed the 5,000, whether the two fish were bass or catfish, and what bait was used to catch them. You're a redneck church if, when the pastor says, "I'd like to ask Bubba to help take the offering," and 4 guys stand up. You're a redneck church if the collection plates are really hubcaps from a 1956 Chevy pickup truck. Yeah. So those are my rednecks. And one more, I wanted to start jogging daily, but Proverbs 28:1 says, "The wicked run when no one is chasing them, So there's that.
Okay, next roll. You can clap, that's all right. You might hear from her again. Seven. Who's seven? That's me. No, it's Mary. Mary.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Well, I have to start with the Michigan State one.
Better be careful.
I got Wolvie right here. How do you confuse a Michigan State fan? Ask them to spell Wolverine.
L-O-S-E-R.
But we did win the championship.
Yeah.
Yay! All right, on we go. There was a church with a bell that could not ring. One day a boy visited the priest and asked if he might try. He ran into the bell face first after climbing the tower. The bell rang loudly and clearly. The assignment was given to him by the priest. The child went directly toward the bell with his face one Sunday and missed, so he fell from the tower and died. Congregation, the priest said before the assembled masses, does anybody know this boy's name? I don't know him, but his face rings a bell. Oh, you can groan. It's all right. It's all right.
Sounds like a Darryl joke to me.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not. God didn't create anything without a purpose, but mosquitoes and roaches come close.
Yeah.
And of course, the nurse has to say a few things. Laughter is good for you because it improves your overall well-being. It shifts your emotions and thoughts. It improves your immune system, so you're going to won't get sick. Boosts your mental health, reduces stress, and reduces pain. So there are good things to laughter. And I want to read what Sandy had a whole page of jokes we could all use. But the top part I really liked. Have you ever met a person you've been around who just keeps making you laugh? It's like they have a built-in joke machine in their brain and can make a quip at a moment's notice. What's really great about that is God is the one who placed it there. He intentionally made humorous people. What's more, he intentionally made humor to be an ingrained part of life. Just think about how many times a day a person laughs. And we can all laugh at Darryl, pretty much anytime. So that should keep you well. Let me see. Rodney, I said it before. Some of you will remember Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm calling him, Rodney. Got no respect.
No, I get no respect.
You don't, I know. You got none either. So I'll end with this one. Twin 7-year-old boys were always getting into trouble. Their parents knew any mischief was reported in town, the twins were probably involved. Their mother heard a preacher in town had been successful in disciplining children, so she asked if he would speak with her boys. The preacher agreed, but he asked to see them individually. The mother sent one boy in the morning with the other boy to see the preacher in the afternoon. The preacher, a huge man with a deep booming voice, sat the boy down and asked him sternly, "Do you know where God is, son?" The boy made no response, sitting there wide-eyed with his mouth hanging open. So the preacher repeated the question in an even sterner tone. "Where is God?" Again, the boy made no attempt to answer. The preacher raised his voice even more and shook his finger in the boy's face and bellowed, "Where is God?" The boy screamed, ran directly home, and hid in his closet. When his twin brother found him in the closet, he asked, "What happened?" His brother replied, "We are in big trouble this time. God is missing, and they think we did it." You can roll.
Two.
Oh, yeah, that's
Nancy
not-
again.
That's not me.
Okay, I have a joke. What Bible character in the Bible had no parents? Joshua, son of Nun. Okay, I got Sandy's list too, so I'm gonna share one of those. I like the one about the business lady. Where is it? Hold on, sorry. Oh, I see the dentist. The business. Okay, who is the most business savvy woman in the Bible? Pharaoh's daughter, who went down to the bank of the Nile and pulled out a little profit.
Yay.
Okay, roll the dice. Roll the die.
11.
No, that's me. I'm 6 through 11.
You're 6 to 10.
Oh, I'll sit back down. Sorry, can't count. Math was not my biggie.
No, I'm not going to go there. So what are we doing today? We are celebrating Holy Humor Sunday. Holy Humor Sunday started early in the church. The church fathers noticed something that we still notice today. The Sunday after Easter is the least attended service in the liturgical year. Now, there's a reason for that. Everybody builds up to Easter. We celebrate Easter. It's the biggest part on the calendar in the church. You know, the pastors and the worship teams and the musicians and everybody prepares to do a really big service to celebrate Easter. And after that, we're tired. And people just say, you know what? It was a great service last week. I'm going to stay home today. So they started, thank you, they started to have holy humor. They said, we need to keep the joy of Easter going. So they called it risus paschalis. Paschal, same term we use as Jesus, as the paschal lamb or the Easter lamb, the sacrificial lamb. And they called it that because it means the Easter joke. Devil thought he won, but Jesus stepped out of the grave. And for those 3 days, the devil was celebrating. But on that third day, it all came crashing down when Jesus walked out of that tomb. So we celebrate. But the devil doesn't like that. He doesn't like us to be happy and filled with joy. There's a big difference between happy and joy. You can be joyful even when you're not happy. You can be joyful even when you're sad, and it's okay to be sad. You know, sometimes we forget Jesus wept over Jerusalem. Jesus wept at the death of his best friend Lazarus. Yet, Jesus had the joy of being God and being our Redeemer. So it's okay to be sad, but some people make it a career. We can't do that. We can't make our career being sad. We can't be the victim all the time. We have to laugh. We have to be filled with joy because Jesus gave us a reason to when he stepped out of the tomb, and God created us. I mean, look at the verses. God created us to be filled with joy. They're probably not up there because we're so mixed up, but there's a lot of places in the Bible where it says to be joyous. So let me ask you a question. What do you call a nun who sleepwalks? A Roman Catholic.
Oh.
What was Adam and Eve's address? 281 Apple. I got to think about it. Yeah, come on now. I was walking through the monastery one day. I saw a guy in the kitchen making chips. I thought I'd make a joke. I said, you must be the friar. He said, no, I'm the chipmunk. Oh, listen to this. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I took my niece fishing the other day, and we were sitting in a boat, and she looked at me and she said, you know, Uncle Darryl, you remind me of God. And I thought, wow, that just pumped my ego just right up there. I must be living my life right to make her say something like that. So I smiled at her and said, why do you say that? She said, because you're both really old. Then she looked at my reflection and she looked at hers and she looked at mine and she looked at hers. She said, Uncle Darryl, is it true that God made you? I said, yep, he did. She looked at her own reflection and said, is it true God made me too? I said, yeah, he made everybody. She looked again and said, boy, he's getting better, isn't he?
Yeah, I'll agree with that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What kind of lights did Noah use? Floodlights. Come on, that was an easy one.
Yeah.
You know, the other night I sat up all night wondering where the sun went. And then it dawned on me.
Oh.
Hey! That was good.